information emerging on the Kaduna train attack, and tonight we dig deeper into the issues and how to avert future attacks on the rail transport. Today, the NNPP held its national convention with former governor of Kano State, Robbie Musu Kwankwaso, coming on board after dumping the PDP, say they posed to change the scheme of things in Nigeria's politics. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbaloe in Abuja. Tonight we begin by letting you know that the new Nigeria's People's Party staged its national convention in Abuja, where officials elected were validated and the party's constitution was also affirmed. The party's meeting also saw former governor of Kano State, Robbie Musu Kwankwaso, took the stage after dumping the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Chieftains of the party at that convention are speaking about the state of the nation and what they have come to do in the political arena ahead of 2023 general elections. They're talking about how they can change the scheme of things in economy, in security, and of course, the welfare of Nigerians. Well, I tell you that the Senator Abdullahi Adamu, new All Progressives Congress National Chairman, and members of the party's newly elected National Working Committee, members of formally taking office in Abuja. The chairman and the NWC members were elected on the 26th of March at the National Convention of the party held in Abuja. The new executives took over from the Buni-led caretaker committee.
We have done our best from the registration to the congresses and the wards, local governments, states, and up to the convention. But that cannot be without problems here and there. But by and large, we have succeeded. We can say we have recorded 70% success.
We have a major event. A major event that is going not only to test the waters, but to see how stable that water will be after that event. That is the general elections. For me, and by the time we start working, our main point of call is how we handle the election as a party. How we win the election in 2023. People are talking about, oh, the APC would not have an incumbent on the ticket. We will have the honor, the integrity, the legacy of the current president on our ticket.
Well, tonight our attention is going to be majorly and largely on the disaster and the incident that happened on the Kaduna rail track. And tonight we'll be dissecting the security strategy and other aspects to securing the rail tracks. Let's tell you that the Kaduna State government has released a passenger manifest for the Abuja Kaduna train service, AK9, which was attacked by bandits on Monday. The Commissioner, the Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs in Kaduna State, Samuel Arwan, in a statement today says that the manifest showed that 398 passengers bought tickets for the trip, but 362 of these passengers were validated as having boarded the train through the gate. This is contrary to reports that over 900 persons boarded the train on Monday. According to Arwan, the document also revealed that 8 bodies had been recovered while 26 people were injured. Several of the passengers were noted to be unaccounted for as such operations are still ongoing. where the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo visited the site and said that he's saddened by the terrorist attack on a train conveying hundreds of travelers on the Duse Forest in Shikun local government area of Kaduna State. The Vice President, during his visit to Kaduna yesterday, described the incident as another mindless terrorist attack on citizens.
We're all familiar with what terrorism is about. I mean, clearly, this is an attempt to cause fear. There is no redeeming feature of this. It is just purely evil. It's cowardly. There's nothing there's nothing it achieves except to just cause fear. And for some people, of course, there might be profit, those who are trying to kidnap and all of that. But I think that it also reinforces our own belief that we must continue to provide the kind of security and surveillance that is required on the rail tracks. And that, of course, is something that we're very actively doing to ensure that we have a comprehensive plan for protecting rail tracks and protecting all of our transport assets everywhere.
Well, the minister who is in charge of the rail services or the trains, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has also visited. He took a tour on that same rail track. And after he studied a few revelations that the minister had to give based on the emotions that came on realization of the dastardly act committed by these terrorists on the train service. And these are some of the things that the minister had to say after he saw for himself what has happened on the ground. Take a listen to the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi.
We knew what the problem would be. We knew we needed to have digital security equipment. We told the contractors what we needed. We applied for it. Because if we had those equipment, you will see anybody on that track, for Christ's sake. And I want that lives will be lost. Now lives are lost. 8 persons dead, 25 persons in the hospital. We don't know how many persons have been kidnapped. And the cost of that equipment is just 3 billion naira. The cost of what we've lost is more than 3 billion naira. We've lost tracks, we've lost locomotives and coaches. We've lost human beings. And the equipment is just 3 billion naira. To fix those equipments now, to fix all the things on that track, will cost us more than 3 billion naira. And now even the things we wanted to buy, I will say, give us approval to buy. We need to give us money. Give us approval to buy. At the time we asked for it, dollar was 400 naira. Now if we're going to buy it, we're going to buy it at 500 naira. You know, when you come with sincerity to government and your colleagues and people are stopping you, it is annoying.
You can see the frustration of the minister. And this tonight, our attention is how we can avert this kind of situation. Embarrassing, sad, and the fact that Nigeria is still looking for those who are unaccounted for in the over 360 passengers that are believed to be on board. Stay with me, everyone, because my guests tonight are going to be giving insight into what should be done, what really happened, and how to avert this kind of disasters. We need to give you some of your roundup stories.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike said he's fully prepared for the assignment of becoming Nigeria's next president because he has the wherewithal to address the security challenges and the nation's poor economy. Mr. Wike promised to rescue Nigerians since, according to him, they can no longer resign to fate, suffer the pains of harsh economy and wanton killings under the watch of the All Progressives Congress-led federal government. He made the promise in Abuja when receiving the expression of interest and nomination forms purchased for him by a group, the Northern Progressive Elements and Friends of Wike.
If you want PDP to come back to power, PDP president to be sworn in May 29, 2023, give me the ticket.
The Social Democratic Party in Delta State has expressed confidence in winning the 2023 elections in the state with a landslide. That's the promise of the chairman of the party in the state, K. Idawane, who advised those seeking elected positions in the state to consider using its platform. Mr. Idawane, who was speaking during the opening of the State Executive Committee meeting, promised that the party would provide a level playing field to all aspirants. He's confident that the era of ballot stuffing and snatching, as well as massive thumb printing, might be over with the new Electoral Act, adding that going forward, only the popular candidates will win.
We are saying to Deltans, to political gladiators, enough of the already made syndrome. Come and join forces with us. We have tasted APC, or tasted PDP. It is time to give SDP, the modern political parties, a chance to lead Delta State and Nigeria.
One of the founding members of the People's Democratic Party and erstwhile presidential advisor to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Mr. Umar Ardo, has dumped the party for the Social Democratic Party in Adamawa State. He said his decision was because both the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress have both disappointed Nigerians. Dr. Ardo, while renouncing his membership of the PDP, said the decision was painful but necessary because of the dishonesty, impunity and injustice he experienced in the party.
It turned out not to be a deceptive political party with deceptive leadership. It also, as you can see, after 7 years of APC, it has today, in practice, in reality, changed its name.
37-year-old Tari Oba Oliver has declared intention to run for the #1 seat in Nigeria in 2023 under the umbrella of the People's Democratic Party. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, Mrs. Oba Oliver, who described herself as a technocrat and a seasoned politician, considered the time is appropriate for the younger generation to take over the reins of leadership in Nigeria. She promised to prioritize security and technology if elected.
People should be active participants in the affairs of Nigeria. And I'm going to be the president who is a phone call away. I'm going to be the president that you can reach. I'm going to be the president that can reach out to you. I'm not going to be the person that you have to come struggle to see.
A former House of Representatives member in Ogun State, Oladipupo Adebutu, has declared his intention to join the race for the governorship seat of the state in 2023 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. Mr. Adebutu, while addressing his supporters in Abuja, the state capital, promised to provide good governance and ensure equitable distribution of critical infrastructure across the 3 senatorial districts in the state. Present at the event were River State Governor Nyesom Wike, former Governor of Ekiti State Ayo Fayose, and other party leaders and faithful from both state and national levels. A former National Publicity Secretary of the National Republican Convention and a former Special Advisor to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Dr. Donyo Kupe, has announced his withdrawal from the 2023 presidential race as he expressed his desire to team up with the aspiration of a former Governor of Anambra, Mr. Peter Obi.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Our major story tonight is the sad story of the bandits or the terrorist attack on the train line from Abuja to Kaduna. There's some emerging facts that are coming, information on what really happened, a number of people that were on board, as against the over 900 that were reported. The manifest has been released by the state government, shows that about 362 people's tickets were validated. About 390 also bought tickets for that train service on the day, and listed the number of people that are injured and several other people unaccounted for. Let's get a sense of what this means altogether and where we should go from here and how to ensure that this does not happen again. Money has been spent to build infrastructure. Now these very terrible terrorists staging the attacks on these infrastructure. I'm being joined on the program right now by Mr. Dennis Amakri, a retired director at the DSS. He joins us from the United States. Interestingly, I understand that he's on a train service in the United States. Mr. Amakri, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Those who have criticized that there's a problem of intelligence that we've suffered in this attack that we've seen, give us a sense of what this means for our security. It does look that we may have tamed these terrorists for some weeks. In the last few weeks, there have been some quiet, but now there seems to be some resurgence in the attacks. What do you think may have happened? Especially when the minister said we should have bought a surveillance gadget or some surveillance gadget, and some of his colleagues in government did not approve that.
Thank you very much. for having me. Actually, I'm on a train that is going to New York. And first of all, I'd like to situate it. I'm talking to you because this train has internet. And because it has internet, this train can be located anywhere in the world. And when you are traveling on a train like this, it feels secured because there is nothing that will happen to it that you cannot actually get. Security agencies can reach it, they can actually see it if they want to, and react, respond to it. I've heard what the minister says. He's saying that they want tracking systems and the cameras that will be looking outside the train and stuff like that. Well, fine and good. But that solution is not right. That solution is not going to give us very good results. Because right now in the market, we should have equipment that can easily detect what is happening and then, of course, respond. It has to respond. We cannot just see them that they are coming, and then, of course, what do we do? The question of response is the major issue. And, of course, when you are responding, is to deal with those people that are causing the problem for you on the road.
So the big question here is how then do you secure the very long kilometers of these tracks that cut across several communities and it cuts across, it links several states of the Federation, because now it's not only Abuja Kaduna, we have other train tracks across some other states from Lagos to Ibadan and all of that, which the federal government says it wants to link most part of the Federation. How do we secure these tracks?
Okay, to secure the network of tracks that we have, it's not by putting cameras all along the rails or putting sensors around the rails. You first of all you have to do a risk assessment. Get even the state security service to give you a very good risk assessment, because they have people who are specialized. The risk assessment, you look at the better solution, best solution now, which is being used by even other countries, is the blanket, security blanket that you can use. The eye in the sky, the eye in the sky. It cannot be vandalized, it cannot be seen, it cannot be destroyed. And then that eye in the sky will tell you exactly what is happening on the rail tracks. All of them, you can see from the beginning to the end of what is going to happen. If there are people that are going to approach it, you will know. Now, after knowing, there comes the important part, response. Now, when we are responding, we know we cannot send troops from Abuja or Kaduna to start driving all the way down there. So what you need are drones. Now, these drones are not just the ordinary drones that we talk about. We're talking of predator drones. Predator drones. And these drones are armed. And because they are armed, they could do a lot of things. If there are people that are trying to attack or ambushing the train, they should be able to clear them out before the train arrives. And these things are in the market. Now, if we have very good relationship with the United States, the predator drones that they've even used in Afghanistan are being retired in the United States here. And as friends to the United States, we should be able to approach the government to either lend us or buy them outright for our use.
I mean, why? Because this is not the first time security experts like yourself are talking about the use of drones and how we can use unmanned gadgets to play surveillance role in our security architecture. How difficult is it to get all of this done? Because we understand that there was a United States military operations to rescue some United States citizens that were abducted in the northeastern region of the country. That was not a largely physical operations on the ground, where the boots are mostly on the ground. It was largely done remotely, digitally. I mean, what does it take, or what does it entail to be able to get all these unmanned gadgets working in the interest of protecting lives and property in Nigeria?
Okay, now I was talking about the Predator drones. The Predator drones are remote piloted um, aircraft systems, and these remote piloted aircraft systems are controlled on the ground. We can have different ground stations in Abuja, in Kaduna, in Port Harcourt. Because if besides the rail system, these things can also protect oil pipelines, and these are the pipelines that will be losing money on. Now they are being controlled in a control center that sees them. And like I said, they are not just the ordinary drone that we're talking about. We're talking of predator. Predator means they are armed. They are armed and they can attack. And when you have like the one they use in Afghanistan, which is the laser guided hellfire guns that were mounted on those drones, the Predator became a success overnight because they were taking out the terrorists and insurgents in Afghanistan very easily. And this is what we need at this time. It's not just going or listening to somebody who wants to sell security equipment. You have to do a risk assessment. You have to know exactly what the problem is, and of course, how to clear that with a very good solution. So yes, I hear what the minister said, but I think we should go further, talk to the state security service, and then of course, even private security contractors who can give a very good fit to purpose solution to this.
Okay, then another question now is those who are unaccounted for. And those numbers we do not know right now. Based on the information released by government, we do not know how many of them there are unaccounted for. But in essence, how do we, in terms of patrol and search and rescue operations, it's been almost 48 hours since this incident has happened. How easy is it to locate them, talking about military operations or police or search and rescue operations?
Yeah, that's another area. Thank you for that particular question. I think when things like this happen, we tend to just put our hands on our head and cry. We have the minister going to visit the area, and then the vice president was also there. There is no need for all those visits. I can tell you this. There is no need for all those visits. The security response team should be, immediately this has been reported, should be on the track of these people. And I believe they were not too far away, because from what I'm hearing, that regional area where this incident happened, the whole area is infested with terrorists, people that are bandits before. And they should, in fact, the DSS have some job to do there where they have to penetrate that area. And then, of course, know these people, be on their tail, don't allow them to rest, and then do a rescue operation. Because what is happening right now is a situation where they've gone in there, they are just relaxing, waiting for phone calls to come, and then we will start arranging for ransom to be paid to release people. No, this thing will continue if we don't try to show them an example that you cannot just see this kidnapping issue as a lucrative business.
All right. Let me bring in yet another perspective into this conversation. I'm being joined now by the Senate Chairman on the Army, Senator Ali Ndume. Thank you so much, distinguished Senator, for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much.
Such a scenario that is playing out for the last few weeks. It does look like the bandits' attacks and their activities had reduced. All of a sudden, it does look like they now have some new drive, some fixation on our rail tracks and our railway system. What do you think is going on?
Well, honestly, it's very unfortunate, it's very embarrassing, and it's very sad. And actually, the government needs to really stand up, because there is this house that's saying that say ansam fili eke shenya. It means it's only when you get a space that you hang your clothes. These bandits have been doing this intermittently and getting away with it. Nobody has been arrested, nobody has been prosecuted, nobody has been punished for that. And then when these incidents happen, no immediate action is taken. And I think that something needs to be drastically done in order to curtail these things. Otherwise, after some time, as he rightly said, people will start discussing about paying ransom and then all that, because they have taken the people to a...
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Apologies for the outage of the connection. There was due to some breakdown in satellite connections, but we're back fully now. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. We'll be speaking with Senator Ali Ndume, the chairman of the Army Committee in the Senate. Thank you so much for your time, distinguished. I mean, some of the figures and some of the information coming, and they're not quite pleasing. And I was asking what led to the resurgence, and perhaps these terrorists, the bandits, they now have some kind of appetite to attacking train stations and train facilities. What do you think could be responsible?
Well, as I said, I cannot actually say that, but the reason why this is happening, but what I know is that the security apparatus in the country are doing their best, but more needs to be done to either to be proactive in order to avoid such an act. From what I'm getting, my own thinking is that this, the bandits or the terrorists, as you call them, were well prepared for this. And they acted and left in the time that the army could not properly respond in time, the armed forces, even though from where that event happened, the Nigerian army were on ground. Otherwise, the situation would have been worse. The passengers confessed on that. The internal security available within tried their best, but that was not good enough. We've lost 8 lives sometime. They are talking about 9 now, and then many injured and many missing. But my concern is, how come 28, 30, 48 hours after that, no news?
Because
When
the information,
the
the information that we have distinguished now, based on the manifest that was released by the state government, says about 398 people bought tickets. 362 of these passengers were validated. 8 bodies have been recovered, 8 people dead, and 26 people injured, and several people unaccounted for on that Abuja Kaduna train service AK9. Some reports were that they were up to 900, but as against, this is the official information coming from government. But the question is, those who have said intelligence is a major problem. How come these guys were rigging those the bombs on the track and nothing was done? And the minister was visibly angry that we should have bought a gadget worth 3 billion naira, and he said some agents or people in government did not allow that to happen. Shouldn't we be looking in that direction to probe what really happened?
Yeah, we're getting to that. But before then, let's address the issues. The issue now is how many people are missing, we don't know.
We don't know now.
We know 8 people died, that is it. But my question, and we have invited the army already and they're coming to see us, to tell us, well, they intervened and the passengers confirmed that it was more on time. But after that, where are these people? I mean, up to now, we cannot say, this is where they are, or some security agencies cannot say they'll get these people that, And I understand that there were so many of them on motorcycles, and they came with buses. The buses that they took people and put them and left with
and
them.
ferried them away.
So it's not like flying or...
They were well prepared, they were armed enough, they were orchestrated.
Definitely.
They strategized very well for this attack.
But
another one happened just less than 24 hours afterwards.
On the road.
Yes.
Yes. But what surprises me is, by now, left to me, there should have been a situation room, an information, center that will be telling people what is happening every time. But maybe for security reasons, as usual.
But Senator, if the information on what governor of Kaduna State, whatever he said, is anything to go by, on the fact that these bandits and these terrorists, they know them. They know where they are. They can listen to them. The governor said that they can listen to their communication. But the problem is that they are not being attacked on all angles.
Wait, Sheung, that is what I really don't buy into. As a chairman Senate Committee on Army or a senator of this country, if I know anybody that has anything to do with that and there are facts, why don't you bring them out? If you say you know somebody, I will mention it. Sheung is, I know. How? This is what he did. No, but how come you say there are people...
The point he said, he made was that they are being able to, they're able to listen to them.
If you listen to them...
And they can listen to them. And that the fact that he was asking that they need to be bombarded on all angles, so they can flush them out.
If that is the case, why is it not being done? Let me tell you that all these things, if you look at it deeply, there is a lot of complacency in it. You have the MTN services. These people are using phone. You can track. With today's technology, people are taken away and you say you don't know where they are? No, let's be serious. And coming back to what the minister says, I get angry too. How can you put all these people every day on the average of 1,000 are moving around, and then the ministry will ask for money to buy gadgets and drones? These are mostly off-the-shelf items. You can order them, import them, or air freight them immediately and install them in 2-3 days. But you know what will happen in Nigeria now next is, they will go to TV and show that we have purchased so, and the bandits will watch it. They know where there is going to be installed. These are things that are supposed to be in place. And these are things that are not supposed to go through what they call due process. The due process is to put everything that will secure the life of people.
And it will expose
and what happened in this case is, I don't know, because this system is terrible. People will frustrate this kind of process, and as you can see, the minister was angry, and that means there was a lot of frustration in the process of procurement. He said it.
They didn't even approve the money, according to him. So he said it's 3 billion and it wasn't approved.
And they are approving.
And it's angry that people are dead now.
And they are approving money for trivialities, nonsense. Every consultant this, and now even this one, they will say, okay, let's employ a consultant first, so that out of 3 billion, a consultant will be paid 5%. That's 1-point-something billion, isn't it? Or 100 and something million. That's all these people do in this government. I have said it several times. There is a lot of kleptocrats in this system. And the government needs to do something about it.
Senator, let's wrap up and look at it in this way. What do you think is the solution? You are the chair of the Army Committee. How can we stop? Because a lot of people have taken this train service as alternative because the roads are not safe.
I'm not defending the Army, but the Army has a lot on its plate. Too much. Things that are not... Army has nothing to do with securing terrain road. It's not. It's a police or even local security arrangement by the by the Nigerian Railway. But if they are not given the money and the resources for that, they can't do it. And that's what the minister is saying. Why don't you now ask people, you get drones, you can get drones installed on the way, and you can get the locals to, supervise and make sure, these bandits are, as they said, most of the passengers are saying these are kids that are youths that are between the ages of 18 and 20 or 30 at most. And they don't fly or they don't disappear. They came in groups, 200, and then all of a sudden they disappear, and nobody can say, no, we got 10 here, 20, or even that is if they despise themselves.
And they probably
and
have
then, wait,
several
if you talk
kilometers,
like this, people start thinking, oh, this guy is just a senator or a politician, he doesn't know what he's doing. If I'm in the army or in the police, I would have been an IG now or retired. So it's high time we hold people responsible. It's high time the citizens too. How can you say now in Abuja, if something happens in this place, channels, and then I'm not praying for you to be attacked or something like that, but if something happens, within minutes, the information will be on the social media. But what will happen around? Why don't you condone this place? Why don't you deploy people? If you do that, you cover this area, why don't you have additional people? And then the question I'm saying is, what of your neighbors here? If something happens in the channel, people here will know. Why wouldn't they report? And Nigerian citizens too are complicit because these people live in villages. They don't are afraid. They operate with people. They go to the markets now. They'll go and get food for these people. What about the intelligence?
Distinguished, we need to leave it at that. Probably, I think before the week runs out, if you have time, that we can discuss this further when you have met the Army Committee.
Yeah, we are meeting the committee, but not this week. It's going to be Thursday.
Yes. Okay.
And let me say that, again, I spoke with the COAS. He was right on time. The next day, he was there himself. It's not an external aggression. Yes, it's terrorists, but this is the work of police, SS, and all that.
All right. Distinguished, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. Well, let's switch gears now. A renowned pharmacist and former chairman of the Nigerian Economy Summit Group, Mazi, that's what is popularly called, Mazi Sam Oabunwa, has condemned the rising cases of insecurity in land as well as what he describes as the poor state of the nation's economy. Oabunwa, who was speaking shortly after picking his expression of interest from in Abuja, calls for the total rejigging of the nation's security apparatus. He also lists areas of interest he hopes to focus on if elected president in 2023.
Our focus is to turn Nigeria into an investment heaven, where there will be foreign investment and local investment will be promoted by a combination of a strong foreign investment inflow and local investment motivation. We will create businesses, we'll create programs, we'll create projects, because investments create businesses, create programs, and create projects. These programs, projects, and businesses will create jobs.
I'm now being joined by the renowned pharmacist and former chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, a presidential aspirant on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, Sam Oabunwa. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Shane, for having me.
So you made true to your promise to run in this race and you have obtained the form.
I'm not a kid. When you see an old man standing in the sun in a hot afternoon, you just don't go and tell him, old man, get out of the sun. Because he knows it's on and he knows the heat. What you can do is say, Baba, I hope all is well. Because an old man does not come out in the sun except
what has sent you to the sun, Mr. Oabunwa?
Just the discussions you were having with Senator Alain Dume. I empathize with Alain Dume because he tries to restrict himself. He once in a while he sets free, but he comes back because he's in a government, he's in a party that has failed the nation. And I think we need to come to that conclusion that they have done their best. But when your best is not good enough, as he has said, we need to admit it and then ask for help, seek help. So I'm here to offer that help.
And you perhaps have seen yourself becoming Nigeria's president. Maybe in your inner mind or in your dreams at some point you have sat on the chair as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's happened to you a few times in your imagination, isn't it?
Correct.
And the question is that, do you see this happening really, for real?
It's going to manifest in 2023 by the grace of God. Because things happen. And they happen first because you have an inner conviction. You have the capacity and the capability. You feel able. A problem is persisting. A problem is becoming chronic. Our economy degenerating. Poverty is climbing the hills. Joblessness is filling the nation. And we can't even be secure anymore. Simple, secure. You can't travel by road. You can't travel by air. You can't travel by...
And you have the solution, Mr. Onhobo.
I do have the solution. I mean, and that's why I'm here.
You're a pharmacist.
Yes, sir.
You come with the medication, isn't it?
Well,
you have the diagnosis.
I have the key.
You have the diagnosis too.
This is the key, yes. I have the diagnosis and the key to solve it.
All right. I mean, and when we look at it, you are an outsider. As far as core politics is concerned in Nigeria, an outsider, I'm not sure you have the deep pockets compared to some of the other the heavyweights in your political party.
Sure, let me tell you something. There's always a time for a change. In the life of a nation, the life of a community, you see some kingdoms rise and fall. Trends go up and down. Even fashion changes. The wickedness in this country, captured in the way power is bought, must come to an end someday. It's not the way it's all over the world. People respect what you bring to the table. They respect your intellect, your vision, your idea, your capacity, your capability, your competence, your character, your courage. That's what people respect. Donald Trump became president of the United States of America. He wasn't a very old politician. He hadn't been in politics, at least partisan politics, for too long. Deep pocket is important because politics is expensive. But in our case, Obama became president. He didn't have all the money. And some of the presidents we have had in Nigeria, I don't know how many of them had deep pockets. What we need to see is people who buy into this vision, who do not want this country to continue to go the way it is.
So as an outsider, the question is that how, because there are a lot of players who have been on the ground, who have been wanting to be president in your political party. They've made a lot of tries in the past years. So come and see a pharmacist who just come into the fray and says, look, I need to be the president and I need the ticket of this party. PDP is the second biggest political party based on what politicians are saying. What gives you the confidence that you can beat the likes of Peter Obi, the likes of Nyesom Wike, the likes of Atiku Abubakar, Bukola Saraki, to mention but a few?
Yeah, what gives me the confidence is that if you look at my profile, if you look at what I'm coming, my vision, the character that I come to this job, you will begin to see that I compare favorably. Because it is not how long you've been at a job. And if your productivity is mediocre, if your output is not sufficiently exciting, the length of service is not very important. Your experience in the job is not as important as your ability to achieve and come out with quantifiable, measurable outcomes.
And you think you're better than some of those who are on the ground?
I believe that it is the choice of the party, the members of the party, and eventually the citizens of Nigeria.
What is your followership locally? Because all politics, they say, are local.
Yeah. The issue,
because that will matter. You need the delegates.
Yeah, the issue is that
those that will
I'm not
vote for
as new to politics as you may sound. I mean, politics is not a profession. I was serving in my private sector capacity and doing advocacy, but also being politically active and sensitive, playing political roles. I didn't join PDP yesterday. You didn't see me going to join PDP. I've been a PDP member many years back. I've played roles in PDP. I've served on the board when Obasanjo was in power, when Jonathan was in power, Yar'Adua was in power, or even until recently. I have been involved in governance.
Been around.
Yes, the issue is that when you see a football team, you see 11 people on the field. They're not all the people that are involved in that team. A large number are behind that. They are coaches or support staff or reserve or those on the bench. I have been politically active, but I have taken the advocacy route in my politics, in advocating. I didn't think everything could be achieved by competitive politics, because it has not worked. So right now, I have a strong following, and I believe that I compare favorably because Nigerians are looking for something fresh. They're looking for somebody with a solution. How can you have what we have today and you see the people who are part of it and you think they can change the situation? How are they going to change it?
Mr. Wabua, I intentionally did not go into the meat of what you intend to do because of our time. And I'm hoping that you need to find time so that we can sit down for a longer time and discuss the Mazi Sam Wabua's agenda in wanting to become Nigeria's president. You need to find that time. I'm pleading on behalf of my viewers tonight. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
I'm willing any day you call me to be back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It will be good to have you back.
Thank you.
Well, that's how far we can go tonight on the program. Many thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.